CASP was conceptualized by Unicef in a visionary partnership with the University of Oxford, Thomson Reuters Foundation, and George Institute of Global Health in India under the Gavi HSS Plan 2014-17. The Premier Institute IIMC customized it edge to move this forward. This initiative was actually undertaken bearing in mind the instrumental role that media has to play in supporting and enriching the quality of discourse on public health, and especially immunization in this case. Hence, increasing acceptance of critical health initiatives is proud to actually support them in this initiative. Without further ado, may I please invite Mr. Louis-Georges Arsenault, UNICEF country representative, to give the inaugural address.
High priority districts in the country, and the strategy is twofold, at least, which is very important to mention. One is that it's targeting the children which are partially immunized in the immunization. And the second aspect is to reach out to these children who have never been reached or left out because of hard to reach in terms of geography or population which have been left out. So by focusing on the harder to reach and also those partly immunized, and in 216 high priority districts, the objective is by 2020 that we will have completed 95% plus fully immunized children in the country. So this is very interesting in terms of how this is really panning out. And I'm mentioning this because this is really central to the training also that the students have been doing. I want to mention also a couple of things about our relationship with the media in general. UNICEF and the media have had a very intimate, close relationship and partnership over the years because we really believe that the media have a lot to contribute when it comes to advocating for public health issues. And this is something that we've been doing very well for the last several years in the country. But in laws and also some in terms of journalists. And when this survey result came out, we sat down with several people, some other key actors, and we started to discuss what could be done to actually address some of these gaps. And this is where but I understand this is a public health program which is already being conducted in health professionals. And this is what we are celebrating today, congratulating these people. And this program is a very unique, and it's because it's the first time that this Oxford program has been adapted to a very specific. And this is also part of the Gavi HSS program, which is 4 years, 5 years, really supporting the government of India push for fully immunized children in the country. So these two pilots have been conducted, and today we are looking at recognizing the 40 graduate student journalists that have been going through this course. And the key role that the India Institute of Mass Communication has played in really bringing this forward. We know that the IIMC is one of the most prestigious media institutes in the country, and it produces very high quality journalists. So that's why we thought that this partnership is very critical to us because it helps us really move this agenda forward. So I'm very keen and very eager to hear the outcome of the training, the outcome of the actual research that the student will have conducted. So in closing, I want to mention that for us, this is hopefully the beginning of a long journey, because this is a very small, it's 40 core on mother and child health. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Louis-Georges. Talk to us about the process adopted by IIMC for adapting the course for Indian journalists.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, my colleagues, my friends, and my dear students. I remember this program for a long time for the simple reason that after taking over as the DG, this is the first public program involving IIMC which I am attending and addressing. and I'm really fortunate that this is the first program that I'm addressing. It gives me a great pleasure because it has been a really meaningful program. I've been briefed about this entire program because I just took over almost, say, over 3 weeks back. And my colleague, Professor Geeta Bamzai, who had taken the lead for this program, has briefed me about it. And I was really inspired to learn and understand how much value this program can bring to journalism as a whole and to Indian Institute of Mass Communication. Having been a journalist for over 30 years and having spent a good amount of time on the health beat, I understand the need and value of sound evidence-based journalism. In fact, I wish to recall here that I was also part of the polio communication review program of the Unicef and WHO. And I had traveled to Hooghly, I had traveled to Western Uttar Pradesh, and I had seen the kind of how we were dealing with resistance, how the media, particularly certain quarters of regional media or language media, in the absence of credible evidence, were inadvertently spreading misconceptions. And there also in my recommendations, both to the WHO and to the state governments and central government, our team had specifically recommended that we need to sensitize the journalists on the importance of such programs. And I'm glad that today, as part of IMC, I am also part of that process. This sensitization of media students and journalists is important and will enable them to write more substantively on public health issues. So when IMC was chosen to do the pilot for the program, we gladly accepted and felt very equipped to co-create and manage this pilot project with UNICEF. Without going into much detail, I would like to share that 40 students from 4 diverse streams of journalism, that's English, Hindi, RTV, and AdPR, were selected for the pilot through a competitive process, and they went through the 19-day weekend module. IMC and UNICEF collectively identified mentors for this project, who not just taught the children, but also mentored them on nuances of this program. Students worked on weekends and really put in all their efforts for this program. And many of their insights are shared through the evaluation report we have with us. Of course, there are learnings from the pilot, and UNICEF and IMC will work closely with the University of Oxford and Reuters Foundation to make improvements and finalize the module by September end. So this can be taken up by other universities and media institutions as well. As for the way forward, IMC certainly is very keen to continue with this program. I have had discussions with my faculty, and we hope that in the days to come we will be able to turn this into a separate credit course. We are in the process of working out the details. Let's see how it, but needless to, I should add here that we at IMC are certainly going to weave this program into our existing programs. That we have already decided. We also propose to have this as a course at our other centers. Maybe we would begin with Dhenkanal, and our IMC Dhenkanal in charge, Professor Mrinal Chatterjee, is with us, and today we are also meeting in the afternoon, so I think this would also be on the agenda. And we also plan to, again, still at the, I would say drawing board stage, that our campus and our facilities can be utilized for the training of the journalists and reporters for this course. We would love to sensitize government officials from the Ministry of I&B on this, and also organize a training for the faculty from diverse institutions of the country, many of whom are present here. So these are some of the ideas that have come up in the recent few days. I would be happy to welcome more suggestions, ideas from your end and the stakeholders who are present here. I would like to conclude by saying that it has been wonderful for IMC to be associated with this program, and we look forward to collaborating with UNICEF to take this forward at our institute and also in supporting the uptake of this in other institutions across the country. Thank you so much.
Just, it would not be complete if we are not able to showcase one product of, while they've obviously produced a lot of products, one of the things that the students have actually put together is an audio-visual. We're going to play a part of it, and it was an emotional moment for all of us when we saw it, because it was really over their laborious work over 19 days. So can somebody just play the audio-visual, the students?
Assembled guests and my fellow IMCians. I'm Shivu Kumar Tripathi and I'm a student of the Indian Institute of Mass Communication. Now that we have reached the culmination of this critical appraisal skills program, I would like to thank UNICEF and our own IIMC for preparing us on the critical aspects of health journalism through a first of its kind course on public health journalism in India. As a budding journalist, the course had a huge impact on our assessment skills of reporting being done on health in media. Today, going through the newspaper and coming across a research article immediately raises a few questions in my mind. What was the sample size for this research? What was the norms for this research followed? Or is this just another advertorial done to promote a certain medical product? If these questions are coming in my mind, I'm sure the course has been a success for me. A major benefit of this course for journalistic students is, despite the fact that it is based on health, it has a vast scope of application in different fields as well. The research, verification, sourcing, and the improved presentation can be used in other genres of reporting today. A mix of both academic and practical approach was given to the CASP program from day one. Classes were taken from experts from different fields, academicians and research experts like Professor Muralidhar Vemudi, Dr. Pradeep Krishnamurthy, Dr. Usha Raman, Dr. Raj Panda. Special classes on data, statistics, and how numbers can reveal a fact and equally conceal it were very helpful. Journalism is a profession which is done in the field. The field visits organized by UNICEF in Jaipur, Alwar and Gurgaon acted in getting familiar with the ground reality and how it needs to be reported. The huge problems in small villages of Mangalwas, Bandipura, or the shortage of ASHA workers in Gurgaon are the one that does not get picked up by the mainstream media today. We as a journalist need to bring out these stories and report them. Health and IIMC for giving us an opportunity to learn more, understand more and experience more. On this note, I would also like to thank, on behalf of all the students, to all those people, institutions and organizations who made this first of its kind program possible in India, and hope that future batches will also experience it and learn from it here in IIMC. Thank you.
इसलिए हकीकत जानने के लिए आंकड़ों और अनुभव दोनों पर जोर दिया जाना चाहिए। आईएमसी न्यूज़ की विशेष कड़ी वॉच फॉर लाइफ में आपका स्वागत है। आदाब, मैं हूं तंजील आसिफ।
नमस्कार, मैं योगेश कुमार। आईएमसी दिल्ली के 40 स्टूडेंट्स ने एक प्रोग्राम के तहत ग्रामीण जीवन से जुड़ी समस्याओं की ज़मीनी हकीकत जानने की कोशिश की। यह प्रोग्राम यूनिसेफ, ऑक्सफोर्ड, रॉयटर्स और आईआईएमसी के साझा सहयोग से चलाया जा रहा है।
पब्लिक हेल्थ जर्नलिज्म कोर्स की भारत में ये पहली मिसाल है। इस कोर्स के स्टूडेंट्स ने फील्ड इमर्शन ट्रिप के अंतर्गत राजस्थान
I would say that Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and from the immunization division where I belong, I would say that this initiative has really been a very good initiative because when we were looking at the immunization program, a public health program, and we were facing a lot of, I would say, queries on the immunization program. As rightly spoken by KG Suresh, that when we introduced polio program, there were lots of ifs and buts which was ongoing in the field. on polio vaccination, and we had to be very careful, because when we are looking at such programs and public health program, we need to know what exactly are the facts. It has to be based on the data that is there. Many of the times when we are looking at journalism, I would say you see what is there right in front. I would say many a times you do not see what is happening at the background, how the vaccines are being stored, how the vaccines are being transported, how the disease would never come and say that I am free from disease. It's only when something to some happens that you talk about. 2.6 crore, the largest population of birth cohort in the world. And even if you get 10, 15, 20, I would say when you're looking at that backdrop, you tend to see and you tend to also do not understand. So in that sense, I would say that this is the first time in a systematic manner a training program has been carried out on public health, which is a very, very important part of it. And I really thank Unicef for carrying out this, and also learning, because we have been training our frontline workers, the ANMs, the ASAs, the medical officers, but never ever we talked about even educating the journalists and the young journalists, because once you know what exactly is a public health program and how do you approach and how do you give it. Why a public health program? Because when you look at public health program, you are actually looking at a normal child. You are looking at somebody who is not sick. And that's where it's very critical and important that you have to do it and do it very, very well. So that when somebody is normal, after the activities, the child should be normal. And if you get something, it immediately attends. And that's where the importance is. And I would say that the Oxford University and Reuters Foundation and the Mass Communication and Institute of Mass Communication, I think so. This entire package has been put together and being used. And this is, I would say, the first course which has happened over a period of almost 3 months, 40 students, and they have gone through Rajasthan and other places to get the experience. And I would hope that this actually expands further, so that people across, and specifically the journalists who are looking at the medical journalism and that too on the public health side, how do we improve? Because when you look at the community, when you look at Mission Indradhanush that just we are talking about is another way of improving the immunization. Immunization prevents diseases. And when you are talking about preventing the disease, the question is that with such a large country, with large birth cohort, with large vaccine manufacturing.
Some people from the audience to give away the certificates. I'm sorry for this, but if you could please come up to George, so Caroline, Dr. Haldar. There's Neeta Bhalla and Professor Bamzai. Shubham Anand Singh. Shubham Anand Singh. Piyush Ranjan Parmar. Nagesh Kumar Mishra.
In the camera, please.
Nagesh Kumar Mishra. Amit Kumar.
In the camera, please. In the camera, please.
Shankar Pandit. Vikash Kumar. Vikash Kumar. These were all the students from the Hindi journalism course. We're now moving.
Camera please here.
Sivu Kumar Tripathi. Mukesh Rawat. Varun Shukla. Zinia Bandyopadhyay.
The camera please.
Padma Rigzin. Padma Rigzin.
The camera. The camera please here.
Shreya. Vishali Jain.
The camera please. Thank you.
That was the English journalism.
The camera please. Thank you.
Tanzil Asif. Yogesh Somkunwar. Yes. Rakesh Yadav. And Amit Kunal.
Here.
And finally, to the last slot after this, after Amit gets his certificate, there's the advertising and PR certificate. Vinay Kumar. Mahima. Mahima. Madhura Mukherjee.
Camera. Camera please here.
Shreya Sharma. Pava.
The camera.
Joshina Jolly. G. Nikita.
The camera here please.
Sushil Kumar Prasad.
The camera.
And finally, Guneet Singh.
The camera.
Big congratulations to those very successful students, the first batch. Something to be really proud of. As we conclude this really great celebration today, it is indeed time to look forward, what's going to happen next. And although we know that, and you've heard this today as well, the whole program has been very evidence and practice and experience based. We've gone through many rounds of analysis, research, pilots, and even evaluating the pilots. And I think that's one of the parts that really sets this whole program apart from others and makes it really unique. We've already heard from Mr. Suresh as well of some very encouraging thoughts on expansion and how to take this forward. So I really want to thank IIMC to do this already for us. because that's where this program is going to pay off. I also want to highlight briefly, and it's in your pack actually, the evaluation that was done on the pilots, which you can read here as well. And as I said, this is what it sets it apart. We've learned lessons, and we're going to take them forward. So there's basically 4 main pieces how we see this go forward. One is to take on board the evaluation findings and to continue to really strengthen the course material itself based on the findings from the pilot. So we will be doing that, and Unicef is very happy to be part of that. We will also want to expand this wider and further. So we'll do a good mapping of all the potential partners who could come on board and carry on with the same course to build more critical journalism as we need it in this area of public health and routine immunization. We will continue with the mentorship of Reuters Foundation, which has been a very important piece, and it will be further institutionalized. I will take it there. And I think finally, we are ready for an online course, an online version of the course to be also launched, which of course will take this much further and wider to other people. So I think with these 4 points, if we already can take them forward, and with 40 very important ambassadors in this room to really give the attention to this course and show us how it's having an impact, we're way ahead of building a really good critical mass of journalism here in the country that will in turn benefit programs like routine immunization, but I think it reaches way beyond only immunization, public health in general. And in the end, and that's where Unicef is extra concerned and interested, that will benefit the children in this country as well. So with that, I want to thank you very much for being part of this program, being successfully getting your certificate today. But as Mr. Louis-Georges said as well, it's only a start, it's only a beginning, and we hope to be part of the journey ahead. Thank you.
Best to try again for the film once. They won't want all of you to see it. So, and that's outside at the stall for all of you to see. And also the advertising and PR, which they did a brilliant campaign around public health dimension of sanitation and health, which is really good, and they use a lot of data in that as well. So we'd just like to open up for a few media questions now, if there are any.
Whenever Government of India brings any vaccine, it really addresses to the equity. आप जब टीकाकरण की और नियमित टीकाकरण की बात करते हैं, तो आप देखेंगे कि जो भारत सरकार जब भी कोई भी वैक्सीन लाता है, उसका सबसे पहले तो होता है कि इस देश में हर जगह पे हर किनारे पे पहुँचे। सबसे पहला वो इक्विटी की एड्रेस करते हैं कि किस तरीके से जो है आप गांव में पहुँचेंगे, किस तरीके से आप जो है ट्राइबल एरियाज में पहुँचेंगे, किस तरीके से आप दुर्लभ एरिया में पहुँचेंगे, अगर नहीं पहुँचते हैं तो कैसे आप पहुँचेंगे। मिशन इंद्रधनुष उसी का एक पहल है, जिसके अंतर्गत ये कहा गया है कि आप पहला चीज तो देखिए कहाँ पे आपके बच्चे छूट रहे हैं।
कर्मियों को, स्टूडेंट्स को तो अहमियत है ही इस कार्यक्रम का। मैं मानता हूँ कि मीडिया कर्मियों को ये बहुत ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि मीडिया एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट इन्फ्लुएंसर है। हमने खुद देखा कि मीडिया पढ़कर कई लोगों का जो है इम्यूनाइजेशन के प्रति अपना रुख बनता है। मैंने जैसे अपना अनुभव के बारे में बताया पॉली कम्युनिकेशन रिव्यू के दौरान, हमने देखा कि किस तरीके से अलीगढ़ और उन इलाकों में उर्दू मीडिया किस तरह लिख रही है, उसका प्रभाव जरूर पड़ा। तो हमने उन लोगों से बात की, वहाँ के अखबार के जो नुमाइंदे हैं उनसे हमने बात की, तो हमें पता चला कि वो कितना अहमियत है। तो हम जानते हैं इसके महत्व को और कोशिश करेंगे कि वाकई रेडियो का आपने जो बात कही है, रेडियो जर्नलिस्ट, टेलीविजन जर्नलिस्ट, सभी को जो है इसमें एक चाहे रिफ्रेशर कोर्स कह दीजिए या एक ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम कह दीजिए या एक वर्कशॉप ही सही, हमारा कोशिश रहेगा कि आने वाले साल में जो है हम कुछ अच्छे कार्यक्रम करें जिसका फायदा जो है सभी को मिले। और हम चाहते हैं कि देश भर में, इसलिए मैंने आपको कहा कि हमारे जो ज़्यादातर सेंटर्स हैं वो कोई कॉस्मोपॉलिटन सिटीज में नहीं है, वो हमारे फारफ्लंग एरियाज में है। कोई एजॉल में है, धेनकनाल में है, तो अमरावती में है। तो ऐसे जगह में अगर छात्र, और उड़ीसा का मैंने इसलिए जिक्र किया क्योंकि वहां उड़िया जर्नलिज्म का कोर्स भी है, भाषाई पत्रकार जो हैं वो अपने का जो सुझाव है उसका हम स्वागत करते हैं और जरूर प्रयास करेंगे। मेरा क्वेश्चन कि मेरे यहाँ इंडियन इंफॉर्मेशन सर्विस के लोग भी ट्रेनिंग लेते हैं, मैं और फॉरेन जर्नलिस्ट भी जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज के हैं वो भी पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं। कोशिश करेंगे कि अगले साल उनके प्रतिनिधि भी इस कोर्स में भाग लें, तो जरूर उर्दू जर्नलिज्म के स्टूडेंट्स रहेंगे अगली बार, ये तो पक्की बात है।
क्या राय है सर आपकी?
देखिए, जो शॉर्ट पॉइंट ये है कि सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स जो है इस प्रोग्राम में बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। आप किसी को भी नहीं कह सकते हैं कि ये इनकी इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं है या इनकी ज़रूरत नहीं है। और रूटीन इम्यूनाइजेशन जो ऐसी एक चीज़ पहल है जिसके अंदर जो है हर कोई जो कंट्रीब्यूट करता है वही स्टेक होल्डर्स है। और मैं यूनिसेफ के थ्रू जो है पहले भी बोला हुआ हूँ कि डेफिनेटली इसको जो है और आगे बढ़ाना है और यूनिसेफ के थ्रू जो है इसको और एनकरेज करना है ताकि और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो है इन्वॉल्व किया जा सके इस एरिया में। थैंक यू।
एक सवाल है मेरी तरफ से।
ये मेरे प्राथमिकताओं में है और ऑलरेडी डॉक्टर ए सूर्य प्रकाश जो प्रसार भारती के अध्यक्ष हमारे केंद्र में आ चुके हैं और उनके साथ एक MOU भी हम साइन करने जा रहे हैं जिसमें मैं इस कार्यक्रम के बारे में भी जरूर चर्चा करूंगा।
I'm sorry.
Is that the question?
Thank you. As I briefly mentioned, one of the things UNICEF wants to do in this is do a full mapping of potential either. UNICEF will be supporting providing all the support needed, but that is really left to the different partners that will try to take this up. There will be sets of questions asked to the different partners to see how we can potentially make this most tailor-made and most useful for them. But on the selection of students, we would rather leave that to those who know best, and those are the institutions themselves.
काफ़ी मीडिया इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, प्रीमियर इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, जैसे MCRC है आपका और जामिया मिलिया इस्लामिया में आपके कई सारे कोर्सेज होते हैं वहाँ पे जो डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेशन कोर्स है MCRC का। तो आपके कुछ प्लान्स हैं कुछ इस पर्टिकुलर इंस्टीट्यूट से कोलैबोरेट करने के?
तो इसके लिए हम ये कहना चाहेंगे कि ये एक पायलट था सकते हैं, हमने सोचा इसको हम विल टेक इट फॉरवर्ड, बट डेफिनेटली प्लान इज टू एक्सपैंड, टू स्केल अप, to look at multiple universities. Today in the afternoon itself, we are going to be meeting with 10 to 12 universities from the states who have actually come into Delhi, and we are going to discuss with them, and like Caroline mentioned, the mapping process will begin. So the idea is definitely to try and expand this. There are always learnings of how critical appraisal skills is really, it's like a tool, it's a powerful tool that can be applied to different programs. In this case, in public health, because that's what we found to be most relevant at this point in time. But like I said, the students in IIMC have applied it to the campaign on sanitation and health. Many other dimensions in their news reports have been focused on nutrition, on other facets of health, on education. So critical appraisal skills can be applied to everything. Public health is something that we have started it, and we would definitely want to continue for the next few years. And yeah. So I think we will come to an end now. Thank you so much for all the media questions. But before we just close formally, I would like to call Sonia to do a quick vote of thanks. Thank you, Renu.
I'd like to thank DG Suresh, Mr. A. George Arsenault, UNICEF India representative, Mr. P. Haldar, Deputy Commissioner Immunization, Ministry of Health, and Ms. Caroline Dendalk, UNICEF India Communication Chief, as well as the entire staff of IMC, the group of IMC faculty as well as students who supported heartily this initiative. And from the original 3-day course that we had initiated with the University of Oxford and Thomson Reuters Foundation, JIGH, we went on to expand to a full-fledged 3-month course spread over 19 days. The evaluation studies also show that there is a great appreciation for this course to take it forward. We thank you heartily for all the senior faculty members, senior journalists like Aarti Dhar, Mr. Pradeep Surin, Mr. Nazakat, Mr. Sanjay Mishra, who have spared their valuable time in guiding the students, and we look forward to your entire cooperation for this path-breaking initiative. Thank you very much. Please join us for lunch.